Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another Masterverse review, and today we're looking at the movie He-Man by Mattel, that was portrayed or played by Dolph Lundgren. And I am not that big of a fan of this movie, even though I've watched it, it's okay. And I'm not a big fan of this face. I much rather have the Super 7 one, which we'll compare in comparisons. But you can see the artwork on the side. Now that looks awesome, and that face looks awesome. And then that artwork looks awesome, and that face looks awesome in the artwork. But not so much in the figure. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm not getting this Skeletor. I've never been a big fan of this Skeletor. I've got God Skeletor from the Super 7 Ultimates, but I'm passing on this one. But I had to review He-Man and do some comparisons. And there is a bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you can. But let's go ahead and break open movie He-Man and check him out. And here we are in front of Castle Grayskull in Eternia with some other mythological figures with our movie version He-Man. And we're going to take a look first at his accessories. And first, looking at He-Man's hands, he comes with a balled-up fisted hand, as well as a left and right weapon-holding hand, as well as an open palm or slap you hand, or hand out to shake your hand. There's his first head sculpt, which is the one that I don't like the most. Just being honest, I'm not that big of a fan of that head sculpt. There's just something about it. Something about the mouth. Just not a big fan of it there. And then there is the second head sculpt, which almost looks like they were trying to get that vintage head look. But again, they just did something. They got the hair. They just did something wrong with the I don't know, the mouth area or something. I don't know. It just seems like it's so hard for Mattel to get some of the heads right. We'll do some comparison later. Weapons, he does come with his laser gun there, which is something he used. Like, why does He-Man need a laser gun, right? Kind of like, why does Superman need a jet, like the one they're selling at Walmart? But there he does. He comes with a laser gun like he used in the movie. And then, of course, he has the power sword. The power sword, which is movie accurate as well. And then he has a little dagger and a little knife. And that rounds out his accessories, other than his, all the dressings that he has on this outfit. The sheaths, the dagger sheath, the bicep bands, that cape, which we'll look at in a little detail more later, as well as that awesome harness. I do like that leather and metal and the shoulder pads. I mean, all that looks good. So there you have his accessories. Now let's take a look at his articulation. Alright, moving our He-Man in a little closer to take a closer look here at everything. Let's first of all take notice of the cape. We actually got something we didn't get with the Super 7 movie He-Man, and that is a printed gold pattern along the edge of the cape. Still didn't get a wired cape. We didn't get it with Super 7 either. But that is still a nice touch to have that pattern there. And just overall, everything's looking really neat. Just take a look at those shoulder pad armor, that chest armor there, plate, the belt buckle here, gauntlets. No gauntlet on this side. The little bicep wraps, a little jewel in it. Of course, like we said, the sheaths. It's got a sheath for the power sword that goes down in here behind the cape, which we'll take a look at all that here in just a few moments. The shin and even knee pad area on the boot here. Some color there. It's looking nice. Holster for the laser gun. Alright, so to take a look at his articulation, he's really not going to look up very much. Not much on looking up there. He is going to look down a little bit. Doesn't get a whole lot of pivot. It's just a little bit. He will look side to side even though it's hindered just a tad by the shoulder pads, but he gets enough there. He's got that same style ball jointed diaphragm, so he's able to crunch forward about that much, and he's able to not really bend back, but other than just kind of sit up straight. And of course he will get some side to side motion with that ball joint as well as a swivel at the waist. Arms, he'll hit a T pose. It will go all the way around. The shoulder pad moves out of the way. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which get excellent range there. He can wave at us, and he gets the hinge and swivel at the wrist, and that gauntlet is, I do believe, yes, it is removable there with the gauntlet. So that is the upper body part. He will get full splits for the most part. I don't know, the holster is kind of hindering this side, but as well as you need. He has a thigh rotation here, and it's kind of nice that that little strap or band around the leg hides that joint there. He'll kick up about that far. It's kind of hindered with this belt and all this that's going on up here, but still not too bad there. Go back a little bit. He has boot swivel there. He does get double jointed knees, which look good. He has that knee pad armor there that will rotate out of the way or rotate in front, which is really nice. I showed you the boot cut there, and he does also get almost full tiptoes there. He does get full tiptoes, and then he'll go up all the way, as well as excellent rockers and the peg hole in the bottom of the boot on both sides. So very, very nice articulation in the lower body with those boots, and then on this side, as you see, he has the little sheath. So let's go ahead and put that one in there. That I believe would be the little knife. So that could slide right in there. Oop, maybe not. Is that the wrong one? It's just a tight fit. Yep, it slides in there. So you got that knife will go in there. And then as you see, that little dagger sheath over here. And that one will slide right in there. Looking good, and it even swivels, so that's part of the articulation. It swivels on that leather-like strap. There's a peg back there, so that's nice. This is not removable. It's molded on, or glued on, I should say, to his loincloth area or midsection pelvis area. So let's go ahead and get the laser pistol here. See how that fits, and that's also, nope, it's not going to swivel because it's glued to the belt as well. I was about to say it swivel, but it doesn't. It's supposed to simulate that little strap there that's strapping the holster around, so that's pretty cool that they added that touch. But there, it's actually open in the back here, so you can kind of scoop it in. There you go. That looks good. Scoops right into place there. And now let's go ahead and try the power sword. Last but certainly not least, the power sword. There's an opening back here, the back of the cape, as you see. So let's go ahead and get that power sword here. And I'm going to lift, well, let me go ahead and put it in here first. Because as you see, there's a little section right here, little loop, little place, tab for that to go down in. And then this swivels here. So you line that up, and it goes all the way down, and that is really nice. That is excellent. So you can see how it fits back there. Looks good. Really cool. Actually came down a little too far. You can kind of bring that up because that's open in the back. bring that up and kind of fit it in to that piece. There you go. Now I don't point out the bottom. Bring the cape back down, and let's give him a look there from a distance. Looking really good. Looking good. Like all the accessories and all of the execution of storing all that he comes with on him, that looks great. Just not a big fan, me personally, I know I've said it, of that head sculpt. Let's go ahead and swap out the head and see how the other one looks on him. Again, in my opinion, this one kind of is making an effort to look more like the vintage head, like this head, but again, fails miserably in my opinion. Much better on the classics. Their incarnation of that vintage head looks so much better. I mean, there's no doubt. And we'll look at more of that in comparisons. I just wanted to show you that. See how much, yeah, still really not able to look up much. He's able to look good. He's able to look down good. Very little to no pivot. And his hair doesn't get in the way as much, or his shoulder pads don't get in the way as much with this head. Out of the two, though, this would be my favorite out of the two. I mean, yeah. Out of the two that we get, this would be my pick. Not just still not that crazy over this one either, but it is better than the other one. Show you side to side here. I mean, just, I don't know. I just don't know. It almost looks like that this is the same face, just showing some teeth, and they swapped the hair. So I'm just not that crazy over it. But speaking of that, let's go ahead and do some comparisons. Alright, so first comparing the Dolph Lundgren William Stout He-Man by Mattel to the Super 7 one. I will say, first of all, that definitely like the head sculpt on the Super 7 one better. That one gets the check mark on that. Also, the William Stout version on Super 7 has just more detail overall in things like the shoulder pad armor, the chest armor, the belt, more detail and refinedness to most all your little small details, even down to the boots and the power sword. So he gets the check on that one. What I'll give this one is articulation and pinless technology. 2 checks there because we had the pins on this one. No pins in the arms or legs on our new one here. But as far as the accuracy, both get a check mark because they both have accuracy. I do like the cape on this one better. As you can tell, on this one you have the pattern, and on this one you do not have the pattern. But this cape, you do have a little bit more quality. You can see how it lays and the way it looks. Definitely a little bit higher end on the cape quality of the material, but this one gets a check for the imprinted design on the bottom, and I think the color looks good on that one too, but that's preference. But looks cool. They both came with alternate heads. There's the alternate head that came with the Super 7 one, which was my least favorite. I like the one that's on him better there. That one just has a better overall look of Dolph Lundgren, I believe, and I like the hair. Whereas this one, I don't know, just a little different. And then this one, of course, the Mattel one comes with this alternate head. But let's see how our new He-Man looks with one of the Super 7 heads attached, and just see. I don't think the skin tone obviously is not going to match, but let's just see how it looks. Oh wow, now that looks good. I have to say. And actually the skin tone isn't that far off. You can make that work. So that definitely, so I'm going to take the alternate head that came with this Dolph Lundgren He-Man, movie He-Man, and put it on this one because it knocks this one out of the park. I mean, just take a look, right? Definitely a lot better. That looks 100% better. And I've seen people already, like Raymond Toys, I mean, there's already people making heads for that. If you got the Super 7 one, you've got it, because you can use that alternate head and it still looks 100% better than the ones that it came with. And it has a little bit of a darker tan than the alternate head. So maybe Super 7 had a premonition, because it actually does look a little bit darker on that face than that face. Still like this face the best, but I'm going to leave that there and use that face. That is so cool that works. So basically gives me 2 William Stout He-Man art incarnations, one with better, articulation, so I'm pleased with it. That's cool. Now let's just compare them with some of the other He-Man faces and head sculpts that we have thus far. And here are all the He-Man heads, including some customs and some head swaps with some Marvel Legend heads. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We first of all have the Revelation head sculpt over here, which as much as I dislike that head sculpt, I think I like it better than the one that came with this William Stout. Then there's a Hordak MX head sculpt, which I love on that Revelation body. And then we have the 40th anniversary He-Man, Battle Armor He-Man. Of course, we have the Viking or New Eternia He-Man head sculpt. Then we have the one that we've looked at today. Then the Super 7 William Stout. There is the Premier Studios made this head sculpt custom. That's a Hordak MX head sculpt for that New Eternia body. There is the Sentry by Marvel Legends, the Sentry head sculpt on a Hercules body, and I call that my enchanted He-Man. He's got those glowing eyes. And then there is a Hawkeye head sculpt on a customized Battle Armor He-Man, and that rounds us out there. So you see all the head sculpts that we have gotten thus far in just the Masterverse, plus some customs, and then of course the ones that we looked at there. And I'll just say again that the 40th anniversary head that they did here for this year, or last year technically now, even is better than what they did here, in my opinion. You can tell. Alright, but there you have it. Some comparisons, but that is cool. Look at all those He-Man. And this is just Masterverse with the exception of the Super 7 one there. Check it out. Alright. Thank you so much for joining us today for this Super Dave review. Please like, subscribe if you've not done so yet, comment if you have something to share, and we'll see you next time on a Super Dave review. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.